Oh dear. Why's the camera up there? Hello. How is everyone today? Probably better than the camera, which, well, I'm down here, camera. Come on, look down, look down. Tasu, hello, how are you doing today? Hopefully you are doing well. I have had a busy morning. I got up early. I did some work on the project, which I will show later on. Done some shopping, seen some family, done some more work on the project, and then yeah, I am now streaming, which is going to be fun because we're doing something that I'm not sure I've done on stream before. I mean, it's something that I've done while streaming, but I don't think I've done it on streaming. I am going to release an update to Coppice. It's not the update that we have been working on. It is actually a project to, well, it's actually an update that, well, macOS 13 is coming out tomorrow. And on Thursday, I finally decided to test. And by I mean a friend of mine. And by test, I mean just try and launch the app, which then promptly crashed. And yeah, it turns out there's a crash on launch on macOS 13 with Coppice. So I already have the fix, so we'll go through what the problem was and what the fix is. And then we're going to release it, which all depends on, like, I'm not sure exactly how much I can show online. So yeah. Hey Renee, yes, the mouth is well, it's moving. Probably is going to need some tweaking because it is not moving quite how I would want it to. I mean, it's better than it was last night, where it was just, the best word for it would be vibrating. But yeah, I think I just need to tweak the actual animation and some other bits and pieces, but it is looking okay. But yeah, so how is everyone today? So you don't have a project keep you busy? Well, many projects out there. Be that working on an app or working on something in life, or just maybe learning a new skill, drawing, painting, music, writing, many things out there. In fact, what I will do is I'll go over and show you my project that I've been working on. So let's head over to the observatory. And yeah, why is that camera so broken? It wasn't broken when I started the overlay. Oh well. This is better. So if we head down here, let's bring up the display. And I will get into position. Oh yes, I need to increase the font size again. Now let's show off this thing, which I have just realized I have forgotten to put on my computer, so I will do that right now. Okay. So this is what I've been working on this weekend. I've been building myself a new paint rack, which I don't do a huge amount of like woodworking stuff. I've like put together some shelves from scratch and a few other bits and pieces of basic woodwork. So this is one of the for any woodworker, this is like basic, but for me this is like one of the more advanced things that I've done. So as you can see, there's a lot of tape on it because I glued a lot of it up last night, and it's all dry now. But yeah, this is a paint rack so that I will be able to hold all of the paint that I have, which is an awful lot. It still has some stuff to do. You can see over here there are going to be some feet that are going to stick on the side just to stabilize it a bit more, and I'm looking at possibly putting a batten down the bottom at the front, because the intent is if it's going to tip over, I want it to tip towards the wall, not onto me. But yeah, this is been quite a bit of fun to build. It's like could have been done better in places, but I mean it's just something that is going to be holding paints. They're not particularly heavy. This is probably massively overbuilt for what it needs to be. I mean, before the stream, I ended up filling up a row of paint, which they will almost never be filled up because the whole intent is each individual colour can go along the front of the shelf, and any spares can go behind them. And the thing is, for most colours, I never have spares because I don't use them that much. But yeah, so this should hopefully hold everything. And I've got enough spare bits of wood left that I'm going to try and make myself a tool holder as well, and a brush holder, because I constantly run out of space in my current one. So yeah, this has been a fun project I've been working on. But yesterday I also did another fun project, which is updating to macOS Ventura. So hopefully you are hearing audio and the mix of the audio is fairly good. Because I had to tweak it yesterday, because I'm now using some new functionality in OBS on macOS Ventura, which is that it can capture audio from apps, which it hasn't been able to do before. So I literally have the music, playing in music, going directly into OBS. I don't need to have a plethora of different apps just trying to route the audio in, which is pretty fantastic. But hopefully it sounds okay. But yeah, the other thing with Ventura is I need to fix Coppice, which I've technically already fixed, but I will show you what the issue is. I believe it is text editor view controller. Okay, so this here is what is necessitating a bug fix, because previously I had written it as NS not found, and NS not found worked fine, because generally when you get a location and it's a location that doesn't exist, then the location is NS not found, the length is 0. Apple, for some reason, have decided in macOS 13 that this will crash. If I build and run, we'll see it crash. Hey Jen, how are you doing? Okay, so this builds and should run. There we go. Create a new document. Do that. There we go. So it crashes here. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Where are we? And there's countable text location compare, receiving the match type, no. So I've never actually used an executable text location before. Never even heard of it. I don't know if it's... In fact, let's have a look. Is it new API? Doesn't actually exist, so that's an internal type. Yeah, that causes a crash anytime you open a text page. Considering every document contains a text page, this means that Coppice will crash. Change that to a 0, and voila. So I literally have to change that to that, and then go through all the rigmarole of releasing an update. But better that than people complaining that their apps crash. So, you're good. You've been hanging out with the goober. How be me? I be fairly good. I have my cup of tea. I have managed to fix this bug, and yeah, had a fairly good morning, though I did wake up at 7:30, and I do not know why I keep waking up at 7:30, especially at the weekend. There's no reason for me to be up at 7:30 on the weekend, but alas, that is what my body is deciding to do these days. Right, so we'll see how much of this I am able to do on stream. I was going to potentially do this last night, but then I realized the version of Xcode I have is a beta version, so I had to wait for the release candidate to download, and by that point it was too late. I decided I'll get it done today. How does more Bridge Crew sound later? Possibly. It depends on how much stuff I get done tonight, because I've got a lot of stuff I need to get finished on my project. Have I closed preview? Where? On this project, I want to get it finished up so I can actually tidy up downstairs, because it is a mess. So I need to get this finished up, load stuff on, and then I can just finish, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow night if you're free. Right, so I want to check. Right. I've checked that all of my... Oh, 1 second. Okay, so I have got Poker through. I've made sure the test passed. So the next thing I need to do is actually archive. Let's go click on Automate Apps and Distribution. Nope. Can we actually get rid of this? There we go. Let's Go Cloud is too expensive for my needs, so I'm not going to bother with it. No, it is knowing that Apple is now throwing advertising for services into their developer tools. Bad enough that it appears everywhere else in the OS. I think I read something about how they're creating even more ads, I think. What's that on Mac Rumors? Yeah, Apple announces more ads coming to the App Store starting next week. See today tab app your app can appear prominently on the front page of the App Store, making it some of the first content users see when they begin their App Store visit. Apple. They are a pain when they do this stuff because they already take a ridiculous amount for what they offer, and then they effectively require you to buy more to make sure that your software appears correctly in search results, because you can buy an advert to appear in your competitors' search results. So someone can search for your app and your app does not appear first. Someone who paid Apple has theirs appear first. Which wouldn't be too bad if it wasn't for the fact that the only place people can actually get your app is through the App Store. Right, so have that. And I need to open another one and go to so okay, so what I can do is package this up. Util package and path to archive. What this does is it should, in fact, out give stuff just in case it shows, because I can't remember exactly what it shows. Well, I'll show the results after if there's nothing too bad. But what this is it's a script of mine. Well, it's actually a command line tool I've built that allows me just to run that and able to upload your app for notarization. Okay. Let me just bring that up. Able to upload your app authorization, fail to get authorization for username and password. Okay, I need to open something else up. Right. So I should be okay. Just launch this. Does that yes, that is correct. Right. That's publish. I want package. What am I calling order? Curious. Sorry, I can't actually show this. There's a lot of it is okay. Do that. This does include some information you're not allowed to see. Right, so I need to do. Let's set this going manually. F. This edge. And primary bundle ID. Coppice. That is. Password is that. What? Oh, do I need the XE run AL tool? Oh, I know why. Ow. Are you throwing bugs and pumpkins at me? Bugs and pumpkins and skulls. This is one of the especially when my voice doesn't work. This one does. That one doesn't. That doesn't. Nope. 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 Oh, I'm going to have to fix some of that. Hey. Throwing stuff at me. I mean, look at this mess you've made. Honestly. I can't get the staff these days. So, I have. Do I need? Oh god, there's gonna be even more stuff that I need to do. Do I need to log into my full account? This has changed. Where do you create an application password again? That. Not any of those. Authorize app. Well, Apple developer. And to activate Apple IDs in apps password. And okay. So I think what the problem was is I had to reset my password a while ago. Well, I didn't have to, but I did because Apple started throwing out a bunch of new device detected on your account alerts without me actually doing anything. So to be safe, I reset my password. And in order to use AL tool, you need to log in, and the way you log in is using an Apple ID, and that reset probably also reset all my app specific passwords as well. So if I log into my Apple ID, app specific passwords, there we go. So now if I go here, changes on this one. Changes. Then I do that. the specific password you generated. But I've just generated it. Okay. Why is that new app specific password not working? Able to upload your app for authorization. Failed to get authorization for the username and password. A different thing because it's let me try it. So is there a new line? That is. Why do you allow new lines in password? Okay, this should nearly be done, and then I should be able to share my screen again. No error. Oh. It has been uploaded. Cool. And in future I need to switch over to using Notary Tool, which I can do some other time. Okay. So now all that is sorted, I can that I now need to it because I have updated the build number. So I should be able to share my screen again. So I've updated the build number. And I need to tag the commit 2022.1.2. That right release note. Where is my release note? Because I'm not sure what I have open as context. Nothing. But very simple release notes. Fix crash on macOS 13. Yes, Kieran, I got the mouth working. I probably need to fix it a bit. but the actual basic functionality is there. But yeah, I think the animation needs to improve. But it's only working on this expression so far. It won't work on any of the other expressions, but maybe we'll be doing some of that later. But yeah, I got this working on Wednesday, I think. So right, where are we? I need to check my emails. Okay, successfully notarized, so we're good. So we have the release notes. So the next thing I need to do is cd into what is the Coppice? Alright. So I need to go to a certain place, enter a certain password, and this is stuff that definitely has to be off screen because there is a risk that I could a slight risk that I could show user data, and I absolutely cannot do that. So that would not only be bad, it would be illegal. Right, so so my mcubed util that I used, the package where I just do mcubed util package and then the path to the archive. What that effectively does is it extracts the archive, it creates the disk image, notarizes it with Apple, like sends it to Apple so that they can do their checks, and then it will basically generate the release notes template that I've just edited, which I believe I have, closed and saved. So now I can use mcubed util publish. And then I just need to pass the release notes, which will be release notes.html. And this is all off screen on purpose because, again, I'm not entirely sure whether it shows anything that shouldn't be shown. Key, I need to link to my Sparkle keys. And it's that way. And then the app, and then the disk image. And if I hit turn, it staples it, which means it takes the notarized signature from Apple and attaches it to the disk image. It signs it with for Sparkle. It uploads to my web server, and then it in fact, rather than showing the actual thing, what I will do is just take a screenshot of what it has done for me on my web page. So then it creates this for me on my content management system. And you can see that it has the version, it adds the public ID, gives a release date that I can tweak, build number, like what the download path is, the signature, which is what allows Sparkle to verify that this is valid, download size, move size, and then we have the release notes. So it actually auto fills all this in for me with all the details that I would have to fetch from, like, what is the size of this, how do I get the signature and all that. So just having these scripts makes releasing a lot easier. So we're going to release this immediately because it's a bug fix. It doesn't particularly matter too much. If I click create, actually let's set it to 1 o'clock. I realise there's another step that I need to do. I'm bearing in mind, I believe this is on French time because the servers are technically in France. Was it Luxembourg? It's somewhere in Europe. It's on Central European time. So even though it's technically 1:45, it's 1 PM. Or is it? No. I can't remember. Either way, the time is like an hour behind. Maybe it's on GMT because that would be an hour behind, wouldn't it? Yeah, so it may be on GMT rather than summertime. So the reason I want to do that is that I need to now do one last thing, which is update myself. But if the release isn't out yet, how do I update myself? Well, I have secrets, which is why I'm typing this off screen. This is such an interesting thing, this whole releasing an app. You get to see my screen do nothing much at all. Anyway, how is everyone's day going so far? Right, so one thing that you can see is that I'm going to open the old version of Coppice. Vector updates, that is available, install update, extract, ready to install, install and launch. And we're now on Coppice 2022.1.2. So I can fix my thing back to normal. So that is all good. In about 12, 13 minutes, that will go public to everyone. And yeah, new version of Coppice is out. All just because I needed to change that to prevent a crash on the latest version of macOS. But better to get it out today than get it out tomorrow or later in the week after macOS 13 has actually released. So, right, what are we going to get done today? First off, I'm going to yawn, which is now obligatory when I'm streaming, because why yawn before streaming or after streaming when you can yawn all the time during streaming? Just had a few hours playing some Overwatch with friends. Did not want to wake up this morning. Now just minding your knee for a little bit. Yeah, this morning I actually woke up fairly well. I was saying earlier, I woke up at 7:30, which is too early. But yeah, it is. Oh, thank you for following, Renee. Ow. Did you throw a pumpkin at me? I think you may have thrown a pumpkin at me. Or possibly a... Well, that was definitely a bug. What was that one? Let's clear the screen out of the way and we can see what we've got down here. I need another way to clear out the screen without having to go up there, but that's what I have to do for now. What do we have here? We've got an evil skull, got some pumpkins. Ow, 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 ow. Some more evil skulls and pumpkins and bugs. Why? Because it's Space Halloween. And because it turned out trying to make a pumpkin theme for my face was too much hard work. So, yeah. We created all these instead. Because that was more simpler just to add new variants of bugs. Hope you like it. It also means that it's all set up to add more variants of bugs in future for other things. So, right. So, I think what we want to do with Coppice is merge our changes into 2022.2. So we'll drag that, we'll merge in, and yeah, so that is all good. What do we need to do next? I think we were doing some unit testing, weren't we? Oh, wait. Yeah, that is about one. I had been doing some UI testing previously and didn't want to accidentally go back to doing UI testing. We will wait for this to build and then see what we can get going and see where we were up to. Okay, what do we have failing? Canvas tests. Creates hierarchy for closed pages. Contains all pages. Why did this one actually fail? Let's copy this. Right. Sublime. In fact, no. Right. What the hell? I don't know why it's now showing a bunch of... Oh yeah, because that's a new feature in macOS. It's like, why is it showing a bunch of random images? Oh yeah, because it does web searches now as you're searching in, because that is completely and utterly useful to me. Why are they showing this up as unregistered? I registered this. Oh, or did I re-register it on this machine? Probably not. I'll have to fix that. Right. New from clipboard. So, if I copy and paste. Okay, so it's the crop rect that is wrong. Why? Not the test model. Oh, it's probably changed the font size and the size of that. Okay. App icon. No. What's it? What's the NS app icon? PO NS image name. Okay, we'll do it that way. NS image that application icon then. We'll stop, we'll go back, and we will rerun the test. Which still fails. Why? Why is it setting the crop rect to 1413? We get the page. The color should be 0 image dot size. What is the image size? It's okay, when do we set the crop rate? Let's try this. Oh, self-dot crop rate. Where is he getting it from? Oh, wait. We'll change this image.application icon name. If we do that, then this should pass. Helps if you read the error and work out exactly which bit is failing. Then you can realize, no, it is not the code that is wrong. It is the test that is wrong. It's not I that is out of touch, it is the children that is wrong. Right. Canvas layout engine test. So the links change is true. Links change is true. And we have a bunch of ones that we haven't implemented. Alright, so that's another one passing. Okay. So my brain is not in a writing test mood. What we're gonna do, because I want to get something done on Coppice today. I mean, we have just released an update. I'm going to flesh out these tests, and then hopefully tomorrow morning and off stream, and then tomorrow on stream, we can finally get all these tests done and passing. And once that is done, I mean, then it's just do some more testing, and then hopefully getting to the point where we can get this release out, which is a lot more exciting of a release than the previous one. I mean, the previous one is make the app work again, but this one is make the app work even better. Hello, Sinister. How are you doing today? Right, so age hierarchy restore a test. The stream is going well. We actually just released a new version of Coppice. I'd say it was a quick bug fix version, but Still counts as a release. So it's one of those releases where releasing it took far further than creating the actual change. The change was sort of I knew what it was, I knew where it was, I knew what I had to do. The longest part of the change was updating to macOS 13. Page hierarchy, restore a test. And the hierarchy restorer. Okay. So test page. Okay, so we are going to be testing a what? Turns empty array. Yeah, I'll do the entry point because that's more important. That's more likely to actually happen. The first one is sort of a let's get rid of the optional. That should almost never be an optional, but has to be for reasons. Page hierarchy, entry points first. Page length equals length. Turns empty array if hierarchy doesn't contain entry point for length. Page hierarchy. Creates canvas pages for each page in arrow of correct key. Set correct frame for each page in arrow. Creates link from source to root of hierarchy. creates links between creates canvas link for each link. Okay. Doesn't create canvas link destination. Well, it would really only be the destination. So if one of link pages okay, so those are all the tests that we need to do for that. And then we want page hierarchy builder. And we want the root pages. And we want add. Get our canvas pages, and then we want build hierarchy. Which is pretty simple. Build hierarchy. New hierarchy object with direct properties. Let's see. It. That's root page. Oh, that's a fair point. They're all internal. Okay. So what we can test. Yeah, we're gonna have to do this slightly differently. So creates new hierarchy object. That's the first thing that we want to do. No, probably don't want that either. Add ID of initialize root page set alt. Okay. Adds entry points with correct offset. Adds pages with correct offset. Test build hierarchy. Ads pages with not ads links. Correct. So that should be fairly simple to do. So if I just do this, we should get a bunch more test values, but hopefully these should be the last test values we need to do. So that would be what, about like 20 odd? 22. Actually, what's that model reader failure? That needs to be. In this image, that application icon template. Okay, so all of our builder, like page hierarchy builder and restorer tests, we've got all of our link tests in here. And a few things with page selection. And why are these failing? But it doesn't actually create the hierarchy. Which you can potentially either change or remove in future, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Who knows? So, yeah, I think I'm going to leave Coppice there because my brain is just not in the mood for writing tests, and we need to get these tests done before we can start getting Coppice ready. And once the tests are done, we can then make the final plan for what is needed for release. This has taken far longer than I expected, but I was bad and should really have been keeping up with all these tests as I was doing the development. Then this would have been a lot easier to do. But you live and learn. Anyway, who would like to do some overlay shenanigans? Because I think I am up for some overlay shenanigans. I mean, by shenanigans, I meant me working on the overlay. But I mean, if you want to throw bugs at me, then yeah, by all means, go ahead. Yeah. Well, at least one benefit is you can see my art a bit better. There we go. You can even see the glowy eyes on the skull on this one. Oh wait, glowy eyes must be a very similar colour to the magenta screen, so that is why they look weird. Yeah, pumpkins and skulls, which I made myself on Tuesday or Wednesday. Can't remember when I did that. But yeah, a little bit of Halloweenness thrown in. Well, thanks, Kieran. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with them. The skull is I'm not as pleased with the skull as I am with the pumpkin. I think the pumpkin turned out much better than the skull. But I think they're both quite nice. They're both nice little additions. Something simple to do, so now I know what I can do in future. So let's head over to a Unity. Let me in, and I'll just put that. Where is? Okay, Unity should nearly be done. There we go. So what have I been working on? Well, I have been splitting up the microphone stuff and the mouse stuff. So we now have a microphone controller, which if I open up the studio, we've got a microphone controller that basically handles all of the microphone stuff, and it had some cool new features. I've had the ability to basically cycle through microphones, which is very useful if for some reason I have the wrong microphone selected. But I've also, this is what I was working on Wednesday, towards the end of the stream on Wednesday. I had this all set up using the raw volume. And what the problem there is that volume isn't really linear. Or rather, it is, but it's... volume is a weird thing. And it's far easier to work in decibels. In decibels, you can work in almost a linear fashion with it, even though it isn't linear, but you can treat it that way. Using decibels, it is generally a logarithmic scale. And essentially, I believe it's every 3 decibels you increment by is roughly a doubling in sound. So 27 like if you have minus 27 decibels, that is twice as loud as minus 30 decibels. Minus 24 decibels is twice as loud as minus 27 decibels. So things get louder very quickly. And if you have somewhat of a linear scale, it allows you to do things like have a volume meter that looks a lot better. But it also means that I can have a linear scale that I can set normalized between 0 and 1 based on my noise gate floor, and I can then map that to mouth movement. So if I go to mouth, you can see that I can have this in various states of open depending on what it is. Now, there are some things that I have had to tweak with this, but I'll just launch this and I'll be able to show you what the problem I was having was. So I should be running about, okay, let's say I'm doing about 100 FPS. If I go to Pokeball, armature, wheel, body, and all the way down here to the mouth, I've got an update interval here. If I do 1 divided by 120, so I'm roughly doing the frame rate. Can you see how it's just vibrating a lot? Because it's changing very, very quickly. And what I realized was update it with the frame rate does not work. So we need to go to lower frame rate. Now I initially tried 1/30th, 30 frames a second, but you still get a bit of that vibration. And what I found the sweet spot is actually, I tried 1 in 12, which is sort of okay, but I actually found that if I do 0.1, so 10 frames a second, it actually looks okay. Did 1 divided by 15. Yeah, you're just getting a little bit of that jitter when you get to 1 in 15. So it's like 1 divided by 12. 1 divided by 12 is probably the fastest I would want it to go at. But I mean, that's okay, because that's 12 frames a second, which works fine. Like, I am fine with it being a bit not as smooth animation, because you can like tell it jumping a bit more, but I would much rather have it that than have it just constantly fluttering. And the thing is, I have the code in place to prevent the fluttering. The problem is that it's not really averaging things out enough, so that is what's causing problems. So we may try leaving it like this for now. But as you can see, the mouth does seem to be moving about quite a bit. So what I want to do actually is go here. And I want to select the mouth. So, why is that moving about quite so much? It's in the same position, but if I go to the mouth, and I go to plane, let's open the sprite editor. Yeah, so I think the problem is that the sides of the mouth are not aligned. So what we're going to play around with is, let's see if we can line those up a bit better in Photoshop. I want to get this mouth working, and then I can start working on some others. So I think we may also want to make it just thinking about how your mouth moves. We want it to be narrower when it's closed. You can see that the widest bit it is. I mean, what we could do is close. Oh, those are unpixelated. I want plain. Okay, see you in a bit, Kieran. Alright, let's select all those. 740. Yes, I've got that opening down. I think what I'm going to want to do is 5 and 6. Okay, so we do it like that. Let's see if this will work. I'm gonna do that. Okay. So let's move these. They're all lined up, so what I want to do is delete, 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 delete. And up here, delete, 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 delete. Okay. So let's line these up in the middle. And so that'd be 6, 20, 2, 3, 4. 6, 20 times 3, 4, 6. You create our right. Background needs to be black. Drop. Y minus 2, 3, 4. Y minus 2, 3, 4. And them again. Take that off. That's off. Okay, so that hopefully will end up looking better. So we can have closed, open 1, open 2, open 3, 4, open max. I can delete that and just pick 20. So if I just that's all those and I'll just minus 20. Okay. I can go there, delete the old ones and just make those display. And then what I want to do is the pixel grid. Related. Open that. Copy. Shift that up there. So I have been playing around with macOS Ventura. Today and yesterday since I updated, and I have to say it's kind of boring. Like there isn't really much new that interests me. Like if you look at the new features, there aren't really that many. Well, it's not technically out yet. It will be out tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, the 24th. So it's out tomorrow, but I just updated to the release candidate because I needed to test Coppice. But I mean, it doesn't really add that much. In fact, once I get this one done, we'll take a quick look at it and see if there are any features that anyone in chat finds interesting. Where are we? macOS Ventura. So here we are, macOS Ventura. So mail. There's improved search. I could not get improved search working. I don't know what, I don't know how exactly it was meant to improve. Maybe it's just not that noticeable to me, but nah. Then you get some additional stuff in mail. So you can actually do things like undo sending an email, where it will hold it for up to 30 seconds so that you can stop it sending. It's like some follow-up stuff, rich links, a few things that would be nice, but they're not major. Spotlight. There are enhanced searches where it will search through your photos and through web images and stuff, and it's sort of it's okay. It's okay, I guess, but nothing too mind-blowing. There's a new sort of search results thing, but again, the Spotlight's mostly an application launcher for me. You do get some quick actions that could maybe be useful, but I mean, probably not. Safari's a big one. Passkeys. So passkeys are basically a way of getting rid of passwords. The idea is that you no longer need the password to log in. You just go to a website and you just log in. You like that user. And the way passkeys generally work is there is sort of a password there, but the password is basically, it is tying to you. It is tying to some device you have. So for example, your phone, your computer, and so on, and it is utilizing biometrics like Touch ID, Face ID, stuff like that to actually unlock things. So the ways that you unlock your device, if you can unlock your device, then it basically verifies it's you. And you would know that, well, this stuff is used to verify payments if you're using Apple ID and stuff like that. So it's all pretty secure. And the idea with passkeys is, if there are no passwords, there's no passwords to remember, no passwords to leak, no passwords that really need to be stored and can potentially be stored in an insecure way. So it is a lot easier and a lot more secure. So it should be a lot of fun. And I would like to play around with adding passkey support to my website for people logging into their cubed accounts. So hopefully we'll be able to look into that in the future once the next version of Coppice is out. There's also, it's meant to be faster, but Safari is always faster. So you can share tab groups with people, but I mean, it's like, I think I know one person that uses tab groups, so big whoop. Messages is sort of good. So for example, you can edit messages now. So if you've sent a message, you can just either edit it or even unsend it entirely. I tried that out. It's okay, but I mean, the amount of times that I've wanted to edit a message is not that big, because you generally only send it to one or two people. So you're not often going to want to edit a message. A tweet, yes, but Apple don't own Twitter. So, and there's also some stuff about share play and collaboration, but that stuff's been announced but hasn't really been used. But yeah, a bunch of stuff with photos that honestly I don't care about because I don't really use photos that much. Shared photo libraries, don't really use. Better ways to share, don't really use. Edits and changes sync everywhere, don't edit that many. Photos are generally things that I take and then I either send to someone or post somewhere or keep for reference. I'm not a big photo person. Then we get on to Stage Manager. So Stage Manager is well, it's there. How to describe Stage Manager? Well, I mean, if you've been following along with any sorts of rumors or anything, you know that the latest version of iPadOS has been a bit of a disaster. And it's been a bit of a disaster because of Stage Manager on the iPad, which is not a bit of a disaster, it's a kind of a total disaster. It's incredibly buggy, it is just kind of terrible, it doesn't work in a good way. So what Stage Manager does is it's effectively Spaces, but with a worse experience. So by default, it will group everything by app. In fact, let's see if I can enable it. See what happens. Hopefully this won't mess things up on stream. Okay, so you can still see things. So you can see here on the left, I have Safari, but then I can click here and bring up the Unity Hub, or click here and bring up Unity. But then I can't actually get to the things because it's taking up the full space. So you really need it not to take up the full width of your screen. So you're losing screen space to really do this. I can switch back to Photoshop and back to Safari. If I wanted to link two things together, I could, for example, pull Photoshop out onto here, so I can have them both together. So when I switch between, you can now see it shows Photoshop and Safari over here. Now, the thing is, it is separate per monitor. And really, if you've got multiple monitors, it's kind of useless. If you've got big monitors, it's kind of useless. And because it takes up so much screen space, if you've got small monitors, it's kind of useless. It's flashy, but it doesn't really give you anything. Like if I just replace, you've got multiple windows here. And it's not quite the same as multiple windows, but it is. I mean, having seen it, I can tell you exactly what it is. It's Spaces. If you've ever used Spaces on the Mac, Spaces allow you to have a screen, set it up with various windows on, and then switch to another screen. Now, this has some benefits over that in that when you turn it on, it automatically groups by application. But the thing is, you never really work by application. You work by projects, and you want multiple apps up, which you can do. But you've got to sort of open them and then drag them onto a thing. And it's just kind of awkward. It takes up so much screen space. Spaces takes up 0 screen space, because you need to go into the expose view to switch, or you can set up a keyboard shortcut to switch between them. So there's no real benefit to this over Spaces really, other than that you can maybe see a preview. But like I say, on the big screen, it's okay having multiple windows. If you have multiple monitors, it's okay having stuff on multiple monitors. If you're on a small screen, then you're probably better using Spaces and full screen anyway, because like I said, this takes up so much space. You're basically losing a whole strip at the side of your screen. So it's just one of those that it's not that it's a terrible feature, at least not on the Mac. It's just, I don't get why someone would use this over the existing stuff, unless you wanted a super simple but visual mode, because it's like taking a little bit of Spaces, a little bit of like expose, a little bit of windowing, and combining something that isn't greater than the sum of its parts. Because windowing is better, multiple monitors are better, expose is better, Spaces are better. Like, the problems it is trying to solve, it just does not feel like it's trying to be something somewhat cohesive, but it just doesn't seem to offer any benefit other than being a flashy demo. Now on the iPad, the whole point of it is it's meant to enable multitasking, but the problem there is that it is kind of terrible. So it doesn't really make much sense. So yeah, it's basically doing stuff that has already existed and is generally better. Maybe for newer users it may be useful, but yeah, I don't really get it. Let's see, what else do we have? FaceTime, handoff. Move a FaceTime call from one device to another. It'll be useful, but I mean, I rarely do that with FaceTime. Maybe going from like iPad to phone, but not to Mac. Continuity camera is really good. It's just not very useful to me. continuity camera is basically using your iPhone as a webcam. The thing is, I have a pretty good webcam for the times that I need it, and I don't have to buy a mount to stick my camera up there to do stuff. But it is very cool. It has center stage, but probably one of the coolest things is the desk view, where it basically manages to capture from up here what is on your desk, and then by doing various bits of processing, it can make it look like a top-down view of your desk, even though it is sort of pointing at your face. Now, it's not really that much like magic, because this is something that, for example, a lot of cars are doing these days, where what you will have happen is there'll be a bunch of fisheye lenses all around the car, and they can take pictures, and if you basically unwarp, like imply the inverse of the fisheye, it ends up giving you a fairly good representation of a top-down view. So there may be potentially some little bits of distortion here, but I suspect Apple is like compensating with image processing. So this is sort of something that's really cool, just something that I would probably never actually use, I suppose. It could be quite useful for streamers, because you're using the phone, do that, and if you're doing something on your desk, something like a craft streamer or an artist or something like that, that'd be quite cool. You'd have to have an iPhone and a Mac to do it, so well, certainly worth a try. Bunch of game stuff that is of zero interest to me, because I mean, gaming on the Mac, it's like he's adding stuff that is on Windows. There's this freeform thing, which, I mean, may be interesting, but it's not out yet. Oh god, system settings. So anyone who's been following on with the rumors probably knows a bit about what has been going on with system settings. They've basically completely redesigned it. The problem is, it's kind of bad. I mean, this is a good example. So let me take a screenshot of this. And open preview. Let's zoom in on this. So this, it's like reverse ASMR, this, to me. And you may be thinking, well, what's wrong? Well, here we have 14 pixels. We have 11 pixels. Oh no, sorry, 18 pixels. So already we're set down. But that isn't too bad, because you can get away with that. Because what I believe they're centering on is the text. So this is 26 and that is 26. Okay, that is fine. But the problem is, look at the arrows. The arrows are 1 pixel down there, but they're 3 pixels down there. What you want, if this is 14 and this is 18, it really wants to be like 15 and 17. Because the gap top and bottom you can sort of get away with. You really want it to be the same in both, but you can sort of get away with it. But this is inexcusable. This entire control should be shifted up a pixel with the text in the same place. The text is sort of centered, but because all the other bits are not centered, it makes the text seem like it is not correctly centered. Like this should be shifted down 1 point inside the control, and the entire control should then shift it up. So the text is in the right place, but it looks like it's in the wrong place because they do this, and it's just like it's the small details that really makes software go from being it's just something that you use to something that you love. And these are the little details that I love to try and get right. And it's everywhere. It's there. I mean, is that one? Not even sure if that one is. Right, I mean, the other thing is when you have, like, you hover over and you get that there, but when it's not there, the gap between is so small. There's so little spacing around here. It looks bad. Like, I would increase the spacing around this and decrease the spacing here if I really wanted to. Oh God, I've just noticed. Are they lined up? Don't think they're lined up. Oh God, they're not. Why, Apple? It's like 2 pixels. It's just a lack of care. I mean, where are we? With displays. Oh, it's showing up the iPad now. I had it yesterday where it wasn't showing up the iPad, but then it would still show these arrows either side anyway, because it couldn't fit these on. And you can't resize this horizontally. Despite the entire thing being, okay, we've got stuff on the left, stuff on the right, and it's like, there's literally zero reason now for them not to allow it to resize horizontally. They don't allow it. You can resize vertically, but not horizontally. It's just like, why? I mean, why have these that... This control here is a stepper control. Why have something that looks like a stepper control that when you go over it, it turns into a pop-up? But it makes you think that this is a stepper control. Why do you just have an arrange button? It's like this. Where's the design in this? You've just got an arrange button that brings up what we had before, but it's like it's just thrown in there. The old panel was so much better designed. Like, why not make this just a bit bigger so these... I mean, this one I could sort of understand, but then I'd potentially even make it smaller so the wrapping is a bit better. Like, the wallpaper is not too bad. So credit where credit is due. It's pretty good. But the text is the text isn't even centered in this one. Like, they can't even be consistent in their inconsistency, can they? Is this centered? I'm just... Why? maybe it is just censored. Maybe that's a font thing. But why is the font like that? Why would you have that? That can't be a font thing. Let's bring this up. Like, they should be adjusting the baseline down. It's like the centering based on the overall height, but you should be doing the base, like this line here at the top. This pixel here, that is the baseline. The baseline should be being shifted down, because it is okay if these fit down a bit, but the overall text should be in the correct place. The other thing is, why does that... Are they on a... Yeah, so the brackets are in the right place, but the rest is not. Of course that's empty. Like, some of these are good, but why can't I resize this? Keyboard, text input, dictation. Like, some of these aren't terrible, but I mean, it's like that just, it feels like this icon should be 1 pixel higher. You got baseline alignment there. Are they all baseline aligned? Yeah, but it just looks odd because of the edit button. And why have a button called edit? It's just... Couldn't you have come up with something that maybe looks better? There's just so much stuff that is... Yeah. It's indicative of modern Apple in that it just is a lack of care and a lack of attention, a lack of craft. Now, whether that lack of craft is because they've written this in SwiftUI and SwiftUI doesn't allow you to have the same amount of craft, unless it's a lack of craft in terms of the people using this, unless it's a lack of craft in the design team, unless it's a lack of craft in the QA team. It seems like, because I know many people at Apple and they are talented people, they are people that know these things, but using title case there on a label. You can't. No. Mac Human Interface Guidelines. Platforms. Okay, components. All component label. Best practices. Use system fonts, use system colors. Sure, you're meant to be using title case. I mean, whatever you're meant to be using, Apple is not using it. Title case. I mean, the thing I'm looking at, you've got appearance, then you've got accent color, but the color is lowercase. Then you've got highlight color, but the color is uppercase. Then you've got sidebar icon size, that's using title case. Then you've got allow wallpaper tinting in Windows. That's title case except for that. Have they actually changed that? Okay. So at least they're now consistent in using sentence case, which I think was what they were meant to be doing. Because labels are it's buttons are title case, labels are sentence case, I believe. I may be wrong. But yeah, I mean it shows a lot that they still have this up on their website. Any sort of care and attention, they probably would have done this. And it's like, I've said this on Twitter. If this was a small developer, if this was someone like me who had missed something, fair enough. You're like one person, maybe two people doing this. Apple is the platform owner, and they literally are the richest company on the planet. There's no excuses for them. So yeah, that is my rant about the disaster that is system settings. There's stuff there where it could be good, and I do think that it is potentially an improvement. It's just there's no care and attention in it, and it frustrates me that Apple, who is so renowned supposedly for care and attention, which they do put into their hardware, puts nowhere near that into their software, and this is just frustrating to me to no end. Anyway, security stuff, which is fairly cool, but that's coming to iOS. Accessibility, so there's live captions. Ooh. I may have to experiment with that. I wonder if you get live captions working for your own microphone, then display those captions on stream. That could be interesting. Let's see. Voice control spelling. So there's a bunch of cool accessibility stuff. They've added a clock app and a weather app, which, box up in the top corner. Actually, I've just realised is that that's correct, but is my display capture incorrectly started? Okay. I mean to tweak around that, but there are a bunch of other bits and pieces that they've added. But yeah, Michael's Ventura is kind of really disappointing, and I sort of potentially felt the same way about Monterey, but looking back, Monterey added a lot of stuff. Oh. Oh, they've got rid of the Monterey page. But I mean, Monterey, I believe Monterey added live text. It added macOS Monterey. Now we still have it up on the UK website. I don't care about SharePlay and all the share stuff. Shared review was very useful. I don't care about that and anything. It's very. The focus stuff was incredibly useful. I use that all the time for streaming. Quick note isn't useful. Universal control is amazing. Being able to just move between, like my cursor between my Mac and my iPad is great. AirPlay to Mac has been useful in some cases. Live text is fantastic. Shortcuts I've used an awful lot. Not used any map stuff. Some of the privacy stuff is cool. Don't care about iCloud Plus. But yeah, there's so much more in Monterey that is useful to me. But yeah, not really in Ventura. However, it has enabled stuff that have been useful to me in like OBS and so on. So ow. I think yeah, there's a big bug behind me. Well, the bug's gone. That's good at least. Well, this is filling up fast. Yeah. Eh. Push through. Well, that happened. Okay. And this is after I actually shrunk down the subscribers to the medium size because the large was way too big. Right. What can we do here? Can we clear some of this out? This is going to be problematic. I may need to start deleting some bugs, but we'll see where we can get to. Get out the way, bugs. Alright, let's... Come on, move. Let's try that again. Nope, I am going to have to delete some bugs. Okay. Good news is I don't need to clear them all. It just clears it them at a time. So I may be able to shift the rest of these out the way. Let's just... Oh, you need to shift out the way. There we go. I think we're good. There we are. I would say that is clear enough for now. Right, so what we want to do is we want to save this. Get rid of the background. Export. I'm going to save that there. I'm going to replace, and then I'm going to go in here and by cell count, we've got 3 columns, 6 rows. Slice. So if we apply that, let's play. And how does this look? I would say this looks a lot better than what we had before. It's keeping the size of the mouth in the correct place. So the mouth is opening. Yeah, do I want it to leap up? Or do I want it to gradually move? I think this doesn't look too bad. But what have I got? Yeah, that is set to 0.1. Yeah. I'd say this looks a lot better than what we had before. Much, much better than what we had before. What I probably need to do is shift the mouth up a bit, which we can do in code. Actually, we probably want the default shifting up a bit. So happy face. The mouth offset. What is I set that to 8.5. The base mouth position is what I want. So base mouth position, where do I want this? If I set that to 0.6, 0.06, try that. There we go, that's sort of back in the place that it should be. Okay, so what can we do now? I mean, we could get all the mouths working. Though, to be completely honest, my brain is probably not in the best place right now because it's just very, very sleepy. So let's take a quick look. There isn't really anyone online at the moment. So yeah, I think what we may do is just end the stream here. We've managed to release an app update and get some tests planned out for tomorrow and have a bit of a rant and stuff like that, but my brain's just not with it today. I'm not in a sort of a do anything mood. So yeah, I think I'm going to probably head off and go and do some more work on my paint stand, which, oh, that's a fair point. I don't think some of you have seen the work I've been doing. Let's show it off again. This is what I'm going to be working on. My paint stand. This is pretty much the extent of my woodworking skills. So yeah, I want to finish this off. It's all glued together and works. I just need to fix some feet to the side, stop it rocking, and then I should be able to load it all up, which will be good because then I can start tidying. So if I can get that glued and screwed together and tidied up, I can tidy my paints up, and then I can actually work on the other one, which is going to be for holding all my paints and stuff. So if I could get that done, then downstairs I've got that. I've had some new furniture arrive, so I'll be able to get all of my gaming, painting, whatever hobby room fully tidied up for once, which it hasn't been ever since I moved in. There's still a box in there, a plastic box that's filled with stuff that was filled up in my old house to move that stuff to the new house, and it's still sat in there completely unpacked. So yeah, I will get down there tidied, hopefully soon. This project has taken longer than I expected, but yeah, it's turning out okay. Anyway, I want to thank you all for coming, for throwing bugs and pumpkins and skulls at me, and for listening to my rants about UI design, or lack thereof, in Apple's products. Ow. Coppice 2022.1.2 is out, so if you have a copy of Coppice, please download that, because otherwise you'll be sending me a support email saying why is Coppice crashing, and the reason Coppice is crashing is because you're not running Coppice 2022.1.2. Ow. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. And yeah, hope you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And as always, happy coding. Bye.